Well, thank you so much, but I don't want to talk to Sam anymore. I need to talk to Henry. No, Henry? I mean, say what you want. He might have a problem on some levels, but he knows what he's talking about, and Sam does not know what he's talking about. He really doesn't. Whatever his model was is not working. Yeah, and I'm sorry, like all of the references with Sam, oh my gosh, they're so uh, irresponsible. Yeah, and I think that it's been long enough. I mean, when did this start? When did this start with Sam? It started I think it started when? September? September, October 2015, right? And the problem is because he wasn't forthright about what he was doing, he ended up interfering with a lot of other possibilities, including at that chemical factory. You remember that? Yeah, right? That was very unfortunate. And you know, if you're working in a chemical factory, including in a food service role, because they have a conference and you're staffing the conference, they really shouldn't be trying to, let's put it this way, do things that require different licensing, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And he transgressed that line then. The problem was I didn't know what he was doing at the time. Because who would believe somebody would actually do something like that, right? I know, but he did. And he kept doing it over and over and over again. Yeah. And the problem is he kept trying to blame somebody else. Yeah. He kept trying to pin it on John. And it was really obvious, like at the very beginning, John was not going to have that. John was not going to be able to do that and maintain whatever it was Sam thought he was going to do. And so they've completely miscalculated this the entire time. Well, I mean, I don't know if John and Sam were doing this before that time frame. I certainly don't know if it goes all the way back to 2005 and 6, when they did that other thing, because there was all of that stuff going on with the campaign. And they were doing different campaigning, right? Because what they've been working on is something that came up later. And yeah, and so now we're having a big problem because, to be honest with you, I really feel like he's kind of a stalker. And not only is he kind of a stalker, but in the manner in which he's doing this has been so pervasive and so irresponsible. And I know he probably thought that he had all of this authority and all of this permission because of the level it was at. But I'm just going to let you know I have absolutely no proof that he is any more competent or capable of handling this than Henry. And I think it's really just anti Semitism. I think Henry is actually more qualified. And what happened was is they wanted that Christian conversion. So they decided they were going to play this really, really horrible, racist, anti Semitic game, and they haven't relented, and nobody else has called them out. And I think the only prudent, responsible thing to do is to finally call them out. I know, right? He went, apparently, at least according to the literature, he went to that conference and he let himself pull a Michael. But he did it before Michael did, right? And the difference was Michael wasn't elected to public office, and he was. And it seems like he just went ahead and played along in this scheme with John and Sam. But John's totally out of the picture. And all I get is Sam, 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 Sam every day. And it's really fucking with everybody. Yeah. So something's going to happen. Either they're going to have to 100% decom and they're going to have to relent, or at the very least, they're going to have to get me in touch with Henry. I'm not doing a damn thing for Sam. I'm not doing a damn thing for him. Do you guys remember when I hung my tie on the door? What did you think that was about? Exactly, right? So even if they got some sort of like little Vegas getaway, I don't do that. And I'm not ever going to do that. And it's the worst idea that ever came up. Didn't they get the point in the Sinai? I'm just saying. Act of God and all. Nobody wants to admit it's insurance fraud, right? It was force majeure. Exactly. So I just want you to know I support you. I know you're in a very difficult role. These are very strong egos we're talking about. They have done so much service for their country, and it's a very important international issue that they've, I don't know, been appointed or anointed to take leadership on. But they're not doing a very good job. Did you hear that? It's the emergency broadcast system. Exactly. I'm not talking to Sam anymore. I don't want another goddamn thing referencing Sam on my damn line. If you don't get me Henry, then you're going to have to deal with the consequences.